Assalamualaikum and good day to Dr. Nurul Hazwani. The research topic that our group chose is how advertisement affects student buying behavior on cosmetic and skincare products. This is our team members, Umil Nasuha binti Mohd Ali, Zawira binti Jefri, Nurul Hazwani binti Che Hasan, and Fatin Farzana binti Zaidul Azizi. We choose this topic as teenagers nowadays, both female and male, have their own desire to have beautiful, clear and healthy face skin. Previous study observed advertisements of skincare products will always use beautiful models or famous celebrities as a natural draw in order to compete with each other. However, some of the previous studies have not considered the advertising medium such as social media and mass media advertisements to advertise their product. Different mediums can drive different consumer buying behavior. Advertisement is a way to communicate with consumers and highly influence the buying behavior affected by other factors including their lifestyle. Move on to problem statement. For decades, the method or platform used on how to market the product to the public, such as skincare, has changed. The main reason which affected these changes were mainly because of the increase of technology which offer different types of advertisements, advertisement platforms and different generations of targeted markets that will respond differently to different types of advertisement platform use. Thus, why do organizations still choose to advertise their product through these two platforms? And does it work in affecting consumers or student decision in purchasing skincare? And do advertisements really affect consumer buying behavior based on the platform use? As nowadays there is a variety of skincare products in the market which serve similar purpose. Therefore, this study was aimed to find out how advertisement affects students' buying behavior on cosmetic and skincare products. The main objective of this research were to find on what level does advertising through mass media and social media affect students' buying behavior on cosmetics and skincare products among students Part 5 Human Resource Management at UiTM Campus Bandaraya Melaka. The specific objective of this study was to determine the level of influence of social media and mass media advertising towards students in purchasing cosmetic and skincare products. Second is to identify the characteristic of students that are affected by the advertisement through the change in their buying behavior. The general research question was, how do advertisements affect students' buying behavior on cosmetic and skincare products? The specific question was, first, how effective do social media and mass media advertisements influence students' buying behavior on cosmetic and skincare products? And second one, what are the elements or factors in an advertisement that can attract students to buy cosmetic and skincare products? In this research, the dependent variable DV was student buying behavior among Part 5 students of Human Resource Management at UiTM Bandaraya Melaka. Meanwhile, the independent variable IV of this research were the factors of advertising that lead to students buying behavior on cosmetic and skincare products. We had two factors. First was social media advertisement.
Chapter 3, Methodology. Research methodology is the specific procedure or techniques used to identify, select, process and analyze the information that we gain. For research design, it is the nature of the study was part of the research methodology and techniques chosen by the researcher in order to minimize the confusion, get business research and produce knowledge. We have 6 study design elements. First is purpose of study. Descriptive research was to describe the characteristic of a population or the phenomena. And for this research, the purpose is to find on what level does advertising through mass media and social media affect student buying behavior on cosmetic and skincare products. among student Part 5 Human Resources Management at UiTM Campus Bandaraya Melaka. Second is the type of investigation. We use correlational investigation. This type of investigation was the relationship that indicates that at least two concepts or variables move simultaneously. We have observed the two variables that affect the student buying behavior, which is social media and mass media, as the independent variable. Third is the extent of research interference. We perform in individuals' natural environment where we have interfered minimally by distributing a questionnaire. Fourth is study setting. We do interfere with natural environment of the individual minimally. The natural environment in which event normally occur was an uncontrolled analysis, and the unit analysis is individually among student Part 5 Human Resources Management at UiTM Campus Bandaraya Melaka. And for the last is, the sixth is the time horizon. We use cross-sectional design. Only one sample of responder was drawn from the targeted population, and the information was obtained from this sample only once. Let's move to sampling. For sampling, we have target a population of 77 students of Part 5 in Human Resources Management in UiTM Campus Bandaraya Melaka. And through this population, we get response from 62 students that answer our questionnaire survey. Okay, next is data collection. We use primary data as we have gained the answer directly from the respondent through the online survey. We have distributed the links of Google Form through WhatsApp in order to... Last but not least is questionnaire design. In our survey, we have provided 4 sections for the respondent. The first is demographic section. Second is first variable social media section. Third is second variable mass media section, and the dependent variable student buying behavior section. For the answer option, we have used 5-point Likert scales. First is strongly disagree, second is disagree, third is neutral, fourth is agree, and fifth is strongly agree, in order to get know the answer, their specific answer and preference. And for the data we have collected, we have analyzed data using IBM SPSS.
Next, let us go straight to the findings and discussions. First, we are going to look at the individual respondents' profile, which are classified into 5 different demographics, which is gender, age, class, income, and the frequency when they notice. For classification of class, the number of respondents come from 3 classes is quite similar, but the lowest number of respondents come from class B8243, 5C. Next, we will go to the descriptive analysis, which will focus on the minimum, maximum, means, and standard deviations of the independent variable and dependent variable. The first independent variable is social media advertisements, and from the descriptive analysis that we have made, we can see that the overall means of this independent variable is at 4.41, and the smallest standard deviations is for question B2, which is 0.579, with the highest means at 4.71, and these numbers, which is the smallest number of standard deviation, indicate that the data are clustered around the means, because the smallest the number of the standard deviations means the nearer the data accumulated around the means. The next independent variable is mass media advertisements, and from the descriptive analysis, we get that the overall means for this second IV is at 4.10, and the highest standard deviations come from question C1, which is at 1.015, with the lowest mean at 3.97, and this score indicate that the data collected from this question are scattered far from the means. The last one from the descriptive analysis is students' buying behavior, and from the data that we get, the overall means of the responses that we get means at 4.03, which means that the answer that the participant choose are scattered around, and the highest number of standard deviation that we found through our research is at 1.101, which is at question D3, with the lowest amount of means at 3.77. And from the data that we get, we can also see that the response from question at section D is quite interesting because it have the highest numbers of standard deviation value among the three variables. For the reliability statistic independent variable, we are going to look at the first IV1, which is social media advertisement with the crunchback alpha value at 0.760, which based on the number of questions, which is 5. And the interpretation that we can make through the table and result from the survey that we make is that the independent variable that influence the social media advertisement, which consists of 5 questions, has acceptable internal consistency with a crunchback alpha value of 0.760. The last table at the reliability statistic come from the dependent variable, which is students' buying behavior, which get the crunchback alpha value at 0.633 and the number of items 5. And the interpretation that we can make from this table are the independent variable that influence social media advertisement, which consists of 5 questions, has questionable internal consistency with a crunchback alpha coefficient of 0.633. The next table data come from the second IV, which is mass media advertisement with crunchback alpha value at 0.837 and the number of questions 5. And the interpretation that we can make through this table is that the independent variable that influence social media advertisement, which consists of 5 questions, has good internal consistency with a crunchback alpha value of 0.837 as it's more than the range value, but as it's more than the acceptable value needed for the question to be reliable.
The conclusion, I want to highlight back our research objective, which is we want to study how advertisement, which are the social media and also mass media, affect the students' buying behavior towards cosmetic and also skincare product among the Part 5 students at UiTM Bandar Melaka. And we have successfully collected sample size of 62 students from the population of 77 students. So for the first independent variable, which is related to the social media, students' behavior regarding advertisements using social media, based on the 5 questions that consists in the question in the section, which was related to social media advertisement, the crunchback alpha was 0.76, which is acceptable. And for the second independent variable related to the mass media section, that also consists of 5 questions, the crunchback alpha was 0.837, which is good. And this showed that both independent variables significantly affect the students' buying behavior for both social media and also mass media. But mass media had better preference more than social media advertisements. And for the dependent variable, that also consists of 5 questions, which was the students' buying behavior, the crunchback alpha was 0.633, which is still questionable, meaning that it had questionable internal consistency. Move to the means of the variable, the level of mean for the first independent variable, which is the students' attitude regarding the advertisements in social media, was 4.41, and for the second independent value, which the students' attitude regarding the advertisements in mass media, was 4.10. Last but not least, for the dependent variable of this research, which was the students' buying behavior itself, the mean was a 4.03. And this means that all means indicated that both independent variables and also the dependent variable itself had high mean levels. So for the first problem that I have detected in this research is for the demographic equation in section A. It comes from the source of income, which is most of the students only rely on their allowance given by their parents. So they only use the allowance to buy their cosmetic and also skincare products. Since then, companies need to come up with much cheaper price for products without ignoring or reducing the quality of the cosmetic and also skincare products itself. And because of this, students tend to buy something that is affordable and also worth every penny. And for example, students tend to buy Mary Kay product even though they are a bit pricey, since they can use them for months and have been proven by the dermatologists that it is good, instead of buying cheap product that cannot help them to reduce their skin's problem. So for the second problem, which is the independent variable, which have the lowest mean in question B3, which is regarding the information of skincare and also cosmetic products from social media is reliable and can be trusted with a mean of 3.83 only. And it shows that the most of the respondents find it is unreliable, that social media cannot be fully trusted since some of the products company may sometimes edit their results after using products and showing fake feedback from the customers. And maybe sometimes the company give lack of information regarding the ingredients, what type of skins is suitable with the product, and so on. And for the recommendation, in order to reduce this problem, company need to make sure that the advertisement done must be detailed and easy to be understand. Since students usually tend to skip any advertisements appearing while surfing the social media, and the advertisements must consist of elements that are clear and understandable by the audience. It have to be short and attractive to attract the audience, and must consist of main ingredients of the product. So the companies can also produce a community page such as a Facebook group page special for the customers to share their honest feedback. At the same time, can help the prospect to build trust, since they can directly chat with the products users. Okay, for the second independent variable problem, which is the lowest mean for the students' attitude regarding the advertisements in the mass media, is C2 with a mean of 3.94. The equation for C2 is I tend to feel attracted to purchasing skincare and also cosmetic products through the advertisements of mass media. Back to the first suggestion on the first independent variable, maybe the students seldomly use mass media such as the television, newspapers, and also radio to focus on cosmetics and skincare products, since they are the generation where they love to surf the internet more, since the respondents' high range of age is within 22 to 23 years old. And as a solution, companies may advertise the product in a movie or drama instead of traditional television advertisements. Invest some money to sponsor the actors and also the actor to use their product. At the same time, they can promote it in the movie or drama. As we know, television advertisements such as a City Wow Shop may attract the older, since they focus on the health and also housing utilities product, but fail to attract the youngest to buy skincare and cosmetics product. And thus many companies, many products founders have taken this action to promote their skincare, their product in the dramas. For example, the flavored vitamin C that have been advertised in the drama Sabarlah Duhai Hati in Acacia Slot TV3. Independent variable recommendation, the least mean is at D2 question, which is 3.54. The statement for D2 is that as a student, I prefer to use mass media such as television advertisements and radio rather than social media to view skincare and cosmetic product. This shows that this research failed to prove that students love to see advertisements and do some research on cosmetic and skincare products using mass media more than social media. And for the recommendation, the company need to study what kind of advertisement the student love the most, and what are the significant elements that attract them to buy the products through mass media. And for this, the company also need to study what kind of advertisements that can attract the right generations. Means that different generation have their own different preference on the advertisement. So I want to highlight a bit limitation of this research, so that the next researcher can improve. And for this research, it may not be good enough to prove whether the factors or element on the advertisement of social media and also mass media affect the students' buying behavior, since this study was only done among the part 5 students at UiTM Bandar Raya Melaka only. And based on the respondents' data collection on demographic also, the respondents mostly were female, and only a small amount of them comes of a male respondent. And thus this research was not really reliable due to small population that consists of an unbalanced number of male and female. So maybe next researcher can make more wider research on not only part 5 students at UiTM KBM but also in Malaysia.